Sometimes you see things, environmental issues or animal sufferings, that just isn't right. And you think, I wish I could do something about it. And some people ain't just thinking about it, they actually do something about it. And because of them, now you and I can actually help out drink by drink. Let's take a closer look at this amazing project and these amazing gins. Hi guys, and welcome to High on Gin. Over time, I've seen more and more posts of elephant gin by some of my fellow ginfluencers like Carbo Gin, the Gin Quest, Gin Mops, Gin Can Do, Gin Edit, Gin Clouds, Gin and Nature, and not least our new distributor here in Denmark, Kia Company. And a chat with Carbo Gin really convinced me to take a closer look at this project here, the Elephant Gin Project. And boy, am I glad that I did. So let me introduce you to the people, to the distillery, to the different charities that they support, and of course, some of their gins. And yes, I know that this episode is a long one, but I have so many amazing things to tell you guys, so I hope that you will stay to the very end. But let's start with the people and the project. Elephant Gin is run by Tessa and Robin Gerlach, two people that decided to take matters into their own hands and combine their love for gin, for Africa, and for elephants, as they were generally concerned about the uncontrolled ivory poaching, where more than one elephant is killed every 15 minutes. Just think about that for a second. That actually means that one elephant is killed in the beginning of this video, and another one is killed at the end of this video. Two elephants dead just while we're watching this episode. I mean, oh my God. But back to their project. They wanted to make gin, but they wanted to create more than just another gin brand. They wanted that this project should come with a lot of passion that and take the certain responsibility towards the planet and for the wildlife, so that future generations can experience it as well. And since the start in 2013, Elephant Gin has given away 15% of its profit from gin and made several charity events to raise money to give to different elephant-related charities. And so far, they have given away more than, wait for it, 500,000 euros, €500,000. Wow. They donate to Big Life Foundation, an anti-poaching organization that employs over 280 rangers. Their donations are directly contributing to 45 anti-poaching rangers' salaries, rations, and equipments. These rangers protect 2 million acres of wilderness just north of Mount Kilimanjaro. They also donate to Sheldrick's Wildlife Trust, that is known as the most successful orphan elephant rescue and rehabilitation program in the world. They have funded an education center called the Wildlife Spirit to educate the local youth and adults and visitors about the elephants, the wildlife, and the environment. And when they heard about this tragic and mysterious death of over 350 elephants in Botswana in 2020, Elephant Gin released a remembrance edition bottle of this London Dry gin to support their ongoing research. So it is safe to say these guys do a lot. And the distillery itself is also run after these strict guidelines to try to be as people and planet friendly as possible. They are sourcing recyclable and sustainable materials, including the glass bottles, the cork, the hemp string, and the cardboard boxes. They have a plastic policy, and as an example, the shrink sleeve on the bottle here, that is actually made out of biodegradable and compostable materials. They try to source recycled paper and paper made out of elephant dung in their brochures and flyers. Elephant dung in this one. Good to know. Well, anyway. And even though that this can seem like small things in the big picture, you know, when it comes to saving the planet, they try to do their part to make the world a better place for future generations. And you got to salute that. I love these guys, seriously. I think that is really, really well done. But now over to the gins here. This series consists of these three versions here that they have continuously. The Elephant London Dry Gin, the Elephant Strength, and then the Sloe Gin here. And besides these three versions here, they have just added an orange and cocoa that I don't have, and then they have special editions like Elephant Aged Gin and Elephant Gin Liqueur, coffee liqueur as well. The bottles used for these gins are truly a work of art. A bottle that you can, you really want to place wherever it can be seen and enjoyed. I really think that these bottles are beautiful. Each string here is hand-strung around the bottle. Each label here, down here, has this, it's handwritten by a calligrapher, where the name of one of the past great tuskers or the name of one of the elephants they currently protect is written on the bottle. And if you don't know the term tusker, African elephants are referred to as tuskers when their tusks grow as long so that they reach the ground. Among them, there are the magnificent 7 elephants from Kruger National Parks in South Africa. Each had a tusk weighing more than 50 kilos each. Think about having 100 kilos just hanging there. The logo here, it's made as a stamp to honor the letters that the old explorers of Africa sent home to describe their botanical discoveries. There are all these fine little details on the bottle. You can see if you look through the bottle a map, that really represents the journey that some of the explorers took. And each bottle has this fine little tribal shield on it. But all 3 of them are based on this one here, the Elephant London Dry Gin, and then some of them has this additional twist to it. So let's look at the botanicals in this base gin, so to speak, because they're all present in all these three gins here. There are 14 botanicals in an elephant gin. Juniper from Macedonia or Hungary or Tuscany, depending on the taste and the quality of the seasonal berries. Ginger comes from China to add warmth and spiciness. Mountain pine comes in from Salzburg Mountains to add this piney notes to the juniper berries to really complement the juniper berries. There is orange peel from Spain, as they want a sweeter and more rounded citrus notes in the gin instead of lemons. Pimento berries from Mexico adds a peppery note, and cassia bark from Indonesia adds this warmer aromatic note. And elderflowers from Ukraine and Poland is added, as this sweeter touch, and that goes really well with the next one, which is local apples. So elderflower and apples is really good, but the apples gives this fresh, crisp, sweet note to the gin. Lavender from around Europe is added to give this sweet floral touch. And now for the last botanicals and the more unusual African botanicals. Bucho from South Africa that adds this black currant flavor. There's baobab from Malawi that has this very sharp citrus flavor, and actually that is one of the elephant's most favorite fruits. There is lion's tail from South Africa that adds a herbaceous note. There is devil's claw from South Africa that adds an aromatic bitterness. And lastly, there is African wormwood that's also from South Africa that adds this more bitter floral note. And the interesting thing here is, besides the unusual botanicals, that this gin here, it doesn't use the second, the third, or the 4 most used botanical in a gin, which are coriander seeds, angelica, and lemon. So they're not present here. So we're in for something different here. But let's start by tasting the Elephant London Dry Gin. In the nose, you get this very delicate, herbaceous sweetness, and you get the juniper. The alcohol is there. It's 45% ABV, but once your nose becomes accustomed to the power, the gin starts to open up little by little. You find these little treasures, and you start to notice these fine elements. Do me a favor if you're up for it. Smell it, take a break, and then smell it, and then take a break, and do this a couple of times, and you will discover these finer, sweeter floral notes from the lavender, from the elderflower, and from the apples. Wow. When you taste it, you realize that it has power and character. You get the alcohol and the peppery notes, but when you take another sip, you find that it's actually also very smooth, lightly creamy, and extremely well balanced with these fruity notes. It has a hint of these fine notes of raisins, this ginger feel, berries, and this very long peppery aftertaste. I guess the resemblance with elephants is spot on. They may seem big and powerful, but they also have a heart of gold as long as you treat them right and with respect, just like this gin here. The next one is the Elephant Strength version, and it is, as I said earlier, based on this one here, the Elephant London Dry Gin, but the ratio used with the Botanicals is different. Here they have used extra amount of African buchu, sweet orange peels, and herbaceous mountain pine. Also, almost twice as much to create a profile of its own. And I love the fact that they have used more than a year to adjust and perfect the ratio to make it a sublime high-strength gin. And this is not just a gin where they have put in less water. And no, they don't call it Navy strength, but an elephant strength, although the ABV is the same. In the nose, it actually seemed more toned down as the Elephant London Dry Gin. Yes, I mean, if you put your nose all the way in the glass, the 57% ABV will bite you. But if you don't, you get these very beautiful, earthy, floral notes. Oh yeah, when you sip it, it is as intense as you would imagine it. Again, you get this creaminess. I get juniper and citrus and menthol notes that are immediately elevated into orbit by the alcohol. But then it has this very long, slightly dry aftertaste that is both herbaceous and with this black currant fruitiness to it. Afterwards, you have this warming, peppery, and citrus feel in your mouth. Very pleasant, a very pleasant kick in your face, and boy do I love this. And then there is the Sloe Gin. That was released for the first time in December 2015. And since the sloe berries has such a huge impact on the final results, the results from year to year will differ in taste and especially in color. Some years, it gives a deeper color, some year it's a lighter one. And that's the way it is with these artisan products. Normally, the bottle comes with a set of charming Maasai-made colorful beads tied around the neck that can be unfolded or to use as a necklace or a bracelet. The beaded loops are hand-tied especially for elephant gin by 3 Kenyan Maasai tribe members based near Nairobi. Unfortunately, my bottle didn't have one on the neck, so I can only show a picture of it and show you how beautiful it is. I wish mine had one, but maybe next time. And I'm pretty sure that this bottle won't last very long. The Sloe Gin is made by macerating the hand-picked sloe berries in Elephant London Dry Gin with a very high ABV for several months. And before it is put into the gin, the sloe berries skin, is cut to get as much flavor out of them as possible. How long they macerate, well, that depends on the berries that year and when the master distiller decides that the maceration is peaking. Then the berries are pressed, to get even, the last drop of flavor out of them. Sugar is of course added, but compared to other sloe gins, this one is actually lower than many others. Water is added to get the ABV down, of course, but also here they do not add as much water as others would to maybe maximize their profit. They want their sloe gin to have a higher ABV, 35% ABV, and a richer flavor profile. And that's also the reason why it's not filtered, the sloe gin here, and while there is some sediment in it. You just want to keep all these flavors into the gin. And since the result is different from year to year, the handwritten label down here really indicates the vintage. This one is a 2020 version or vintage. The bottle is 840 out of 999. But just because it doesn't hold a name of an elephant, 15% of the profit from this one is of course also given to charities, just to make that clear. In the nose, you get the fine floral notes, almost like cherries and lavender is present. It is very clear that since this sloe berry is based on this brilliant Elephant London dry gin and these exotic botanicals, and the fact that it is not watered down as much, these flavors here are brought into play here with the sloe berries. What a bouquet! Wow! When you taste it, it is very, very concentrated, perfectly balanced between sugar and its tartness, in my opinion. The sense of sloe berries, the cherries, and some additional blackberries, that's what I get, and a touch of black pepper spice. Very, very fruity with warm spices, and a very long aftertaste. Very, very interesting. Wow. You can have this neat, maybe with some ice and a slice of orange zest. You can have it with a Fever Tree Mediterranean tonic or a lemon tonic, or you can celebrate a special occasion by combining it with Prosecco. Well, the choice is yours. There is so many things you can do with this gin here. So guys, there you have it. And here is to you, Tessa and Robin, and all the people around you. What a project, what a series of gin, and how I love what you guys do. And to you, my dear viewer, let's help them at least drink by drink. Until next time.